Hello, everyone. Welcome back to NRI Samay. This is Suresh. Today, it's a slightly different conversation we're going to have on NRI Samay. It's about Donald Trump and it's about kids. Now, what's the relationship? What's the connection between the two? Here's the connection. So Donald Trump had said during his campaign that he will stop the Muslims, prevent the Muslims from entering the United States, entering the country. And this, he has been saying this over and over again. Well, we as adults have thought, people, we may not have paid attention to it. We may have thought it's a campaign, sort of gimmick, or however we sort of rationalized it. But what we didn't realize, or what we don't realize often, is this information is also somehow percolates to our kids as well. And when it happens, the kids, obviously, they cannot talk to their teachers at school, or they cannot easily have this conversation, with their parents, because we, in the first place, when we hear these kind of statements, we try not to get the kids involved in this, because we think, okay, how are they going to be affected? Well, something surprising happened, and we'll talk about that now. So today we have on our show third grader Surina Ediga, to help have this conversation. So Surina, can you tell me how or why you were talking about Donald Trump and what he said during the campaign?
Well, in my school, I have a Muslim friend, and that day, her teacher told her about this, and she felt very bad, and she was crying. So her teacher sent her to the guidance counselor to make her feel better. And one day when we were on the bus for something, she was telling me how she felt, and she said that she hopes Donald Trump doesn't win because she doesn't want Muslims to be banned. And he is actually my neighbor, and we are best friends, so I wouldn't like Muslims to be banned from this country.
Okay. So what happened then when your friend cried at school? Did she talk to the teacher, or what did you guys tell her?
Well, she went to the guidance counselor, and over there they didn't really talk about it. But what she did was, the guidance counselor let her invite a few friends over, and she invited me as one of them. And so we had a lunch with the guidance counselor, and it was very fun. We played a game, and we talked about things. But my guidance counselor, she didn't really want us to bring up the topic, I guess, because maybe she didn't want her to feel bad again. So we played a game, and it was very fun, and it really got her minds off of it. And she was smiling, and she was very happy.
Okay.
Why is it Muslims that have to be banned?
So I think this is just, so what is Donald Trump doing now? He's running for the president, right? He's campaigning. So during his campaign, he has to say things that, will make him popular, right? That he has to say things that will please the people. And people in general are definitely, or at least some of them, are definitely worrying about the growing terrorism in the country. And here they have somebody who takes the stage and tells everyone that, hey, I have a great plan about dealing with this terrorism, and I'm going to just stop the Muslims from coming into the country. But and there are some people who like the way he's talking, right? And if he sees that people are responding to this, then he's going to say more and more things like this, because he knows that his popularity is depending on how what kind of things he says and how people are reacting to it. If the people on the first time when they heard, if they had said, hey, you cannot do this. This is not, how democracy works. So he might not have done that. So I think it's mostly related to a campaign strategy, and I would not worry too much.
Terrorists can be anybody, right? From any religion. It doesn't have to be Muslims.
That's true. The terrorism as such does not have any religion. They don't belong to any religion at all, right? They can be from every single religion. They can be from Christianity, Hinduism, and Sikhism, Buddhism, and all. It could be any religion. So that's why I think it's important to understand, to disconnect terrorism from the religion. They are just people who have somehow convinced themselves that the only way for whatever their beliefs are to send these beliefs, to propagate these messages, is by killing others. Right? So that's why they take these extreme actions. And so it's unfortunate that it always ends up with Muslims being characterized as terrorists, but in general, it's probably anybody.
Okay. And can Donald Trump really ban Muslims? Because isn't that against freedom?
Like I said, it's not really practical. It's not really possible to do it, right? Okay. And he's saying things, like I said earlier, on the campaign, right, to become the president. Now, think about it. You have your pediatrician, right? Your pediatrician, who's your pediatrician?
Dr. Saif.
Right. So if let's say she wants to invite her family over, right? And it's not possible because Dr. Saif is such a good doctor. She takes good care of you. And now if you do things like, okay, I'm going to stop the Muslim from coming into, it's just not going to work, right? There's so many Muslims in the country, and for that matter, so many people from so many religions in the country, who are honest, who are sincere, who have been doing all their doing all their duties and everything. So,
So Donald Trump is just saying that so he would get more votes and win for the president, to get to be the president.
Yes, he found that that's a good strategy of taking advantage of the fear the people have. Right? People are genuinely concerned with terrorism. And here he is trying to take advantage of that fear and saying things to get all those people together to support him. Right? Hopefully, people realize that there are, Muslims everywhere. There are,
or Muslims are scattered all over the United States. So how can the news get to all the whole country?
No, what he's saying is he won't allow Muslims to come to the country. So the Muslims who are in the country, probably they can stay. Okay. What he means is anybody now coming into the country, they will not be allowed.
But what if a Muslim wants to invite their family over or something, and it's like they want to bring up over here? But what if the Muslims are good and they can come into the country, and if Donald Trump says that they can't come, it'll be a problem.
Yeah, I mean there will be a problem, and the people might say, okay, they will go back to their country, or they will say, how can Donald Trump do this? And they may even start protesting, or
if Muslims don't like what they're doing, all Muslims and other religions could stand up, and they could start doing something like how Martin Luther King did for black people, and then they could get their rights.
That's quite possible, right? So even if Donald Trump does something like that, there's always people who can unite and then do something about it. They can, like you said, what Martin Luther King did.
And what Martin Luther King did really changed how segregation was. And so if this really does happen, I'm pretty sure Muslims and other religions would stand up for Muslims, and then they would try to do something about this, because it's not right, it's not fair that Muslims can't come into the country, because terrorists can be from all over the world. They can be from any country, they can be from any religion, any culture, and it's not fair that they say Muslims have to be banned.
Right. Thank you very much, Serena. Thank you, NRI Samay.